Hey guys, welcome to my 7th video in my CSS Grid tutorial series, and in this video I'm going to cover the topic of grid gaps. So we're going to cover three properties, the first one being grid row gap, the second one grid column gap, and the third one is actually a shorthand property for both, and it's called grid gap. So here I have an HTML structure in the HTML box here. I have a container and 15 items. So I'm applying some basic styling on every item for the blue backgrounds, the color, the font and everything. And I'm also applying a solid 1 pixel border, a black border, because if I was to remove this, let's say I comment this out, you're not going to see the difference or the limit between each item. So for now we're going to keep this, but then at the end of this video we're going to remove the border and we're going to use the grid gap to differentiate between each item. So I'm also styling each and every item, or just a few of them, but this is purposely to realign them and change the order of the elements. So you can see that, for instance, here in the HTML box they are all in numerical order, but then in the preview box the 9, for instance, here and 11 are away from number 10, which is here. The 8 is in the middle, etc. So I'm using the grid column and grid row properties, which I covered in my previous tutorials. So I recommend you go and check them out if you have a bit of confusion as to how this really works. But let's get straight to today's topic with grid gaps. And the purpose of grid gaps is to add spaces around your items without actually using the margin property. So here, for instance, you can see that they are all together, and I'm only having this black border to create the limits around them. But if I was, for instance, to type a grid column gap, I could simply specify the number of pixels that I want around them, that is horizontally. So I could say 10 pixels, and you can see that now we have spaces around each and every column, because we actually have 4 columns here: 1 FR, 2 FR, 1 FR, and 1 FR again. So we have 3 spaces in the middle. I can also do the same thing vertically. I can simply use grid row gap and say I want 5 pixels, for instance, and now we have spaces around them. I could say 15 pixels, and you can see there's even more space vertically. So the cool thing about grid column gap and grid row gap, let me get to grid column gap here. For instance, I can actually use percentages. Among the options we have for values, you can use pixels and percentages. So I can say, for instance, I want 2% of the entire space, 2% here, and I still have spaces around them. So the column gap controls the gap horizontally, and the row gap controls the gap vertically between every rows. Now we can actually combine both properties into one shorthand properties known as simply grid gap. So there we have it, grid gap, and you can write 2 values if you want. So I can say vertically I want 10 pixels, but horizontally I want only 5 pixels. Okay, and you can see that it does the same job as if I use 2 properties. So these shorthand properties, the grid gap shorthand property takes the first value for the row and the second value for the columns. Now, what is really interesting is that you can also merge or mix pixels and percentages. So I can say I want 10 pixels for in between my rows, and I want 2%. I don't know why I keep writing it like this. 2%, sorry, for my columns. So let's make it even more clearer. I can say 20 pixels for the rows and 2%, or even 1% for my columns. And finally, you can also use a single value. If you use a single value, it's going to be for both the rows and the columns. So I can say I want 10 pixels all around, or I can say I want 15 pixels all around. Personally, I think maybe 12 looks really good, and now you can actually remove or comment out this border declaration, and it still looks good, very good. So that's about it, I think, for this video. I just wanted you to get introduced to these two concepts because if you realize grid gap, for instance, doesn't push elements around, it's a very clever property actually, because if I write 20 pixels, you can see that the space between the HTML CSS box and this does not change. It's not like if you were to use, for instance, margins and you were to write a single value, it will add the 20 pixels on the top, right, bottom, and left of the items, right? But here it knows that it's only at the top here, the column here, and then the bottom here. So I think it's a very clever way of adding spaces around your items, and you should definitely practice a lot with it and implement it in your web designs. So thank you for this video. Hopefully you learned something out of it, and I'll catch you next time. Please subscribe and like, and until then, have a great week. Bye.